welcome aboard. Got something different here for you guys. It's not really going to be a review or a trick. It's more of a thought process. It's more of a, you got to get your thinking cap. Do I have a thinking cap? I don't have my thinking cap here. It's actually a thinking beanie. Anyway, if you've got a thinking cap, put it on. This is a good time for that. Okay. Power of 3. Okay. This bit of information was given to me many moons ago, and I've carried it on to this day. And it's just the way that I want you to think about simplifying anytime you get stuck in the weeds, especially when it comes to drums. Okay? A lot of times, because we wear all the hats, not just our thinking hat now, we wear the producer hat, right? We wear the drum programmer hat, right? We wear the bass player programmer, right? Well, that's great, but the downside of that is we get stuck in the weeds. We can't see the forest through the trees. And what that does is it just zaps all of that creativity. It doesn't make it fun to create when you become a computer programmer, right? That's the way I look at it. Regardless if it's computer programming or not, it's just, it feels like that at times with technology, okay? So the way that I want you guys to kind of think about that in terms of if you get stuck trying to mix your drums, to get your drums to sit in the mix right, where you're like, I love this preset, but I can't get this preset to sit right. But if I look at the mixer, I don't know what I should cut. I mean, obviously, if you have loud rack toms, you're going to lower your rack toms. But what I'm saying is, in general, these areas take up certain frequencies. So if you cut a certain frequency, it's going to have a byproduct of you cutting that frequency, or vice versa, boosting that frequency. So the way it was told to me in front of this gigantic board, okay, 96 channels at least, flying faders, the whole kit and caboodle right there. Your eyeballs are like the size of apples looking at that. And the thing that stuck out the most to me was what he said about all of those tracks. He said, especially when it comes to drums. He goes, see all those mics we had on the drums? All these cool miking techniques, we've got them over there, we've got them over here, we've got them in that back room, we've got some chamber, he just went down the list. He says, but you know what you only need to make a really good drum sound? You need an overhead, you need a snare, and you need a kick. And he says, once you have that foundation built with those 3, you can just start pulling everything else around that. So you're building that house. We need the basement, the foundation, and that's the foundation. And he said, think about your overhead as we're looking at an EQ spectrum here. This is your high band. This is your mid band. This is your low band. So we've got a 3-band EQ here, okay? So once you establish the levels on that 3-band EQ, you can go forward. So I'll just show you a quick little thing that I do. So I'm going to play this loop with this particular preset, which is just the Studio Basic default. Great preset. Sounds perfect. Love everything about it. But what if I want to use that preset, but it doesn't sound right in my mix? But I am really committed to this preset, okay? Here's what you do. Highlight everything. Null everything out. Bring everything down. All your faders down, okay? Let's use that power of 3 thinking now. Either one of these you'll pick. Most likely the top. It's got a little more muscle. Once I've got that established, I usually start with my ambience, and I start wrapping everything around that. Now there's without your power of 3, so no basement. There's your basement with the whole house. All your decorations. There's your furniture, there's your curtains. Hell, you've even got the dog bed in there. So we started with that. That was our power of 3. And then we went to the power of everything. All right, guys, now why does that work like that? Well, if you just solo alone, let me get rid of this here. If you just solo that overhead alone, listen to it, study it. What do you hear in there? You've got a snare. You've got a hi-hat. You've got the kick. It's back there, but it's there. If there was any sort of tom play, you'd hear the toms as well. You've got a full drum kit in that one fader. So that alone, just starting with that, is 50% of the battle of getting everything the way you want it. And then you're adding in the mid band, which is going to be your snare. And then you're adding in that low, which is going to be your kick. So again, this isn't like rocket science. Let's don't get stuck into just because we have everything in front of us, we have to use it. When you get to that point, strip it all down, build it up. And you're going to build it up with that power of 3 thinking, okay? Okay, guys, if this video helped you out, please like and subscribe. And until the next one, later.